By now, you're probably wondering just how expensive this patented Seychelles water bottle is. Well, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. For example, our bottoms-up sports bottle has a suggested retail price of only $34.95, and you can refill it over 850 times. So you do the math. That's about a nickel per fill-up. A bottle of designer water would cost you at least $1, and even if you wanted to buy bottled water, there isn't always a store around when you need one. Seychelles makes great water, and it makes sense. Seychelles portable filter bottles come in a variety of sizes and shapes. In addition to our portable products, we also offer a complete line of products for the home, like our Countertop Filtration system, which provides crystal clear drinking water with assured quality every time you turn on your faucet. You know, only a small portion of the water supplied by our cities and towns is actually used for drinking, but you don't have to drink contaminated water to be at risk for serious health problems. For example, most people don't realize that when you take a nice hot shower, all of the contaminants in your water are flowing directly into your open pores, and you're breathing them in the steam. According to the EPA, showering is suspected as the primary cause of high levels of chloroform in nearly every home because of chlorine in the water. As a result, we developed the Seychelles shower filter. Now, when you take a shower, the water is filtered. Up to 99% of the chlorine is removed, so you'll look and feel great. It's like showering in bottled water. Your skin and hair will love it. The impressive line of Seychelles products continues to expand, like our new baby bottle filter. Now you can mix your formula with clean, filtered water. And our new 1-micron point of entry system is designed to provide bottled water quality throughout your entire house. Thinking about taking a trip to Mexico, or for that matter, just about anywhere else where water might be of questionable safety? Don't drink the water, right? Because it can cause serious medical problems. Well, now you can forget about those worries and solve that problem immediately and inexpensively. The letters we've received from around the world are just incredible and inspirational. I'd like to read one or two to you, okay? This one is from the Red Cross. Dear Seychelles, just a note to thank you for your help and to let you know what good you have done with your filtration bottles. The 1,000 bottles were passed out to all of the relief workers here in Acapulco, and I believe we have not seen one case of dysentery at the Medevac Center where our workers are usually treated. And here's one from a professor at BYU. I spent more than 6 weeks in 12 African countries this past May and June, and I had no health problems at all. I've never known anything that can filter out microscopic organisms as this filter bottle does. It's unique. I was amazed, and I am grateful. Now, listen to this one from just a world traveler. My daughter and son-in-law and their 2.5-year-old daughter recently spent several weeks traveling in Europe and India. They drank water in each area from the local water supply after purifying the water in the bottle. It was a complete success. They were totally healthy. They had complete confidence in the bottle. As I said earlier, problems with drinking water aren't limited to places outside the United States. There is a crisis looming in our own nation's water supply as municipal water districts struggle with aging water pipes and treatment plants. Old, rusty, rotting water mains keep bursting across the country. According to an article in USA Today, cities are operating on borrowed time. In Milwaukee, over 400,000 people were sickened and more than 100 died when a parasite invaded the city's water supply. In Las Vegas, the same germ caused more than a dozen deaths. Consumer Digest reported that TCE, a common industrial solvent proven to cause leukemia, has been found in up to 34% of the water supply. The Federal Government Accounting Office found substantial evidence that water systems are either not detecting or failing to report problems to the states. The best-selling book and movie, A Civil Action, is based on a true story about toxic dumping in a Boston suburb that contaminated the local drinking water and caused cancer and death to many children. Lawmakers in Washington realized there is a major problem, and in late 1996 passed the Safe Water Drinking Act. This act identifies some of the problems, yet there just isn't enough time or money to rebuild our entire water infrastructure. These issues are real, and they're right in your own backyard. They affect all of us. Municipalities are doing everything they can to address the problems, but ultimately we need to take responsibility for the health of ourselves and our families. The CEO and founder of Seychelles is Carl Palmer, a living legend in the water industry, an entrepreneur with a 30-year track record of success. Carl's accomplishments include over 20 patents in the water industry, and he built 4 companies in the water business that were acquired by Fortune 500 companies. My friend Carl has traveled the world consulting with officials from a lot of countries to help solve their water problems. The Seychelles products represent this man's legacy to the industry and a desire to do his part on this earth. Right, Carl?
Right, Pat. Thank you very kindly. It's been a great honor to be associated with products and the development of products that solve these drinking water concerns worldwide.
For my money, I think you rank with Edison and Whitney and those boys, but we'll talk about that. Let me bring up a technical question, because people know that I've been associated with heavy metal. I'm known as Mr. Heavy Metal in some circles because of the heavy metal album of classics I did. I didn't know that all my life I've been drinking heavy metals, and it's not a good thing, and you know about that.
That's correct, Pat. People for a long time, and primarily municipalities, have been trying every way they can to eliminate the heavy metals from common everyday drinking water. Part of the issue is the heavy metals accumulate in our home plumbing. So whatever our municipals do, they really can't solve the problem within our home plumbing.
In fact, the pipes themselves are heavy metal.
That's correct. So point of use becomes extremely important to purify that water after it leaves that faucet.
Can anybody other than Seychelles remedy this problem, take these metals out?
You know, there are companies that remove lead, but most of the heavy metals are items called cations, and such as cadmium and chromium and copper and aluminum and mercury and certainly lead. But there are other contaminants in water also called volatile organic compounds that are a serious issue today. You know, the things you've heard about called trihalomethane that increase the miscarriage rate in this country. That's such a big issue this year. Effluents from agriculture that are getting our water supply. So there's a lot of things that are a major issue.
Human and animal waste getting into the water.
That's correct. And what we try to do with this filter is make it remove all different zones of contamination. The acidic, the microbiologic, the heavy metals, certainly, and then subsequent to that, radiological contaminations.
Is Seychelles one of several filters that can do this kind of thing?
Absolutely not. It's the only filter in the world that can do all
only
those.
one. That's what I...
And I might add again, it's the most tested product of its type in the world.
So we can trust it. It's safe. It does what we say.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not all that often that the CEO of a company gets fan mail, but here are a few more examples. This letter comes from Dr. Stephen Chandler of Kaiser Permanente. Dear Carl, your water filters have been lifesavers for me in Nicaragua and for my son in China and Tibet. We now depend upon them wherever we go, and I intend to again use them on my upcoming trip to Central America into Nicaragua and Honduras on a medical mission. There's no doubt that your filters have made a tremendous difference in the health and well-being of those fortunate enough to have them. What a great letter. And this one from DePaul University. Thanks for supplying the water bottles for DePaul's winter term in service teams going to the Philippines, Nicaragua, and El Salvador in January. From all reports, the bottles worked very well. And those are areas of the world where you want them to. Now, here's another letter from a grateful traveler. I took a week-long trip from Las Vegas to Mexico. Thanks to your water filtration bottle, I had a very healthy and enjoyable trip. Carl, obviously you're helping people all over the world. Great work.
Thank you, Ben.